You guys, I just lost out on an awesome deal. Let me explain more. What's up, guys? Zachary McDonough here, talking about all things real estate, business, and personal development. And let me prime the situation, give you a little bit of a preface. I'm hunting for my next house. My local market, which is a student rental market, sort of a rent by the room situation, and this awesome townhouse comes on the market. Now, like I talk about in other videos and like I'll talk about in future videos, it's always important to know your ideal characteristics for what makes a deal for you. So for me, it's 4+ beds, it's 2+ baths, because again, I'm in a rent by the room situation, so generally more rooms equals better opportunity for me, to a point of reason. Obviously, if everything's a bedroom, then it's not beneficial at all. So, as you may know, generally, townhouses are not priced as expensive as single family homes. And there are not many townhouses in my area. Fortunately, the townhouses that that this came on the market, it was in a really prime location. So it got listed at $300K, okay? So for some of you, that might be like,
gosh, that's expensive.
And some of you are like,
gosh, that's cheap.
But for my market, that's actually really cheap, because generally things are gonna be right around $400K, some a little bit over, some not many under. So I'm trying to get something that's under $400K generally when I'm looking. My budget for me is $400K. So that's I'm not gonna go over that at this time. Part of it is because that's what's good for my financing situation. So I see this townhouse for $300K. I'm like, let's get ready to rumble. Okay, let's get it, right? So I get all my ducks in a row. I'm getting ready to write the offer, and I figured I'm gonna call the listing agent to see if I can do some sweet talking and figure out what kind of strategy I need to do when I'm writing my offer. And when I get on the call with her, she proceeds to tell me that there are cash offers, cash money offers for close to $380K.
Damn!
I'm like, man, it's listed at $300,000. So I'm like, kind of, my head's running in circles. I'm like, what the heck, right? So I'm like, what are my options? I start asking her. I say, what is it that can I do to help me get this place? FYI, generally, you're not allowed to tell the specific amount of the highest offer. So she told me close to $380K. I don't really know. That could be $376. That could be $372. She could be kind of swagging that in there, but she's not supposed to tell me the specific amount. So I start talking to her. She's like, you probably need to bid close to $380K, if not more, if you want to get this place. But like I said, my budget is $400K. So, what does it matter to me, you may be asking, if $400K makes it a deal and I have my ideal characteristics that it meets, why does it matter, right? Who even cares? Wrong. So in this situation, if I have to do no contingencies and I back out, even after my offer is accepted, I'll lose my earnest money down. Now, why would I want to back out? Why could I not do this? So I start looking at this situation. I'm analyzing it, trying to figure out what works for me. Number one, I know I don't need an inspection contingency. I can already look at it. I can figure out what's needed. Generally, lots of people put inspection contingency just in case something comes up. They usually give themselves 5 to 10 days to inspect it once they're under contract, so that way when the contract's fully ratified, they don't breach the contract and give their earnest money down. I don't need this because I know what's needed. But I'm an experienced investor, and I realize I know what I'm dealing with. I know that at worst case scenario, I'll be okay. Even without an inspection, I don't need a professional inspector to come in there and tell me in this situation. But beware, in most instances, my best advice is to go get an inspection when, you're dealing with properties that you're not familiar with everything, especially as a beginner. So moving forward, I start looking at comparables, comparable houses, and nothing supports this kind of price. $380K, I think max this thing's worth probably about $330. So in that situation, what does this mean? Why does this matter? Why am I considering any of this? Because if I don't have an appraisal contingency which says that I will only purchase the property for based on what it's appraised for, essentially that's a sort of a real skim idea of what an appraisal contingency is, then if I don't have that kind of contingency, what's going to happen is my lender will only lend me money based on what the sales price or the appraised price is, depending on what's lower. They'll take the lower price. So in this situation, let's say that it sold for, we get under contract for $380, but it only appraises for $330. So they'll give me a loan for $330. They'll ask for my down payment, and then in order for me to actually buy this house, I'll have to come up with cash, the remaining difference. So in this situation, that's $50,000 extra than I budgeted, because I'm already budgeted for the down payment and for the closing costs. So I'm coming out of pocket a lot more. And for me, this isn't a deal that works. There are other people that I'm going against that have all cash, that are probably investors looking to dump their money into something that is going to give them all the tax benefits, and they're going to get good return on their money for them, whatever is acceptable for them. But for me, this is not going to work, because I had a specific amount of money in my mind that I wanted to spend. So what's the point of all of this? The point is, don't just be a home buyer, be a home shopper. Whether you're an investor or you're buying a house for your personal residence, it's important to know what your ideal characteristics are, so that you're not just buying something because it's the only thing that's available, right? Right now there's super low inventory, but even then you still got to be, to some degree, figure out where the line needs to be drawn. Sometimes you have to loosen up your standards at times, but when it involves being overextended, for this situation for me, I'd have to dip into my reserves to try to purchase a property like that. And in this situation, it just wasn't a deal that would work, because you don't want to bet the family farm just to get a little bit of milk money, right? At the end of the day, the risks really, way outweigh the reward. So even though it did exceed my criteria in the sense that my price point and how it would give me close to $1,000 a month in passive income, it doesn't work because of the other intricacies of the deal. So I want to encourage you guys that are out there that are looking to find your first deal, or you're hunting your next deal, be patient. I know, I hate being patient. I am so impatient, but live to fight another day and continue pressing on and hunting down your next deal. Because those of you that are out there that are watching this that may be newbies, if you can get through those initial hurdles and push through those initial hurdles, you're going to be so set up for when there's more opportunities, and when you're just going to continue to get better. And the reality is, there's other people alongside you that are probably dealing with the same things, and they're going to quit. So if you can continue to go on, if after your people that are around you that are getting it new into the whole market of it all, just like you are, and they quit and you continue going on, it's just going to make it that much easier down the line. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. And if this video brought you value, drop me a comment and let me know. And last of all, if you have any questions for me, shoot me a DM on Instagram, shoot me a private message on Facebook, or drop a comment below. I would love to answer any questions you have about real estate, business, and personal development. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.